Opinion tourism terrorism can't coexist. Why Turkey, Azerbaijan risk losing India's goodwill in 2024, Indian travelers emerged as a formidable force in the global tourism market. With rising incomes, streamlined visa regimes, and increased air connectivity, Indian tourists visited destinations such as Turkey and Azerbaijan in record numbers, injecting over Rs 4,000 crore into their economies. However, in an increasingly interconnected world where personal choices mirror national sentiment, the tides are shifting. Following the heinous April 2025 Pahalgam terror attack and India's decisive military response through Operation Sindoor, public sentiment in India has hardened. Turkey and Azerbaijan's vocal support for Pakistan, globally recognized as a state sponsor of terrorism, has ignited a widespread call across India to boycott travel to these countries. This article examines the scale of India's economic contributions, the emerging moral dilemma for Indian travelers, and how an organic travel boycott is becoming a new form of people-driven diplomacy. India's foreign policy has long championed peaceful coexistence, multilateral cooperation, and people-to-people ties. But peace cannot be unilateral. As New Delhi asserts its place on the global stage, Indian citizens are re-evaluating how their tourism choices align with national interests. Despite receiving significant economic benefits from Indian travelers, both Turkey and Azerbaijan have repeatedly undermined India's sovereignty by aligning with Pakistan on global platforms. In 2024 alone, these numbers make Indians among the most valuable tourists in both countries. Ironically, the same Indian citizens whose spending uplifted their economies became the targets of a terror attack backed by Pakistan, a strategic ally of Turkey and Azerbaijan. On April 22, 2025, heavily armed terrorists ambushed the serene Bazaran Valley near Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. Their victims unarmed, unsuspecting Indian civilians, primarily Hindu tourists. 26 were murdered in cold blood. Investigations pointed to Pakistan-based terror groups, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-Taiba, organizations with a long history of bloodshed, protected and nurtured by Pakistan's military intelligence establishment. This was not an aberration. It is part of a well-documented pattern of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. Pakistan's continued protection of global terrorists like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar signals its blatant disregard for international norms and human life. On May 7, 2025, India launched Operation Sindoor, a series of precision military strikes targeting terror camps in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The action was a necessary, proportional, and legitimate exercise of self-defense. Yet, instead of condemning terrorism, Turkey criticized the strikes as a violation of Pakistan's sovereignty, while Azerbaijan expressed solidarity with Islamabad, conveniently ignoring the fact that India's sovereignty was violated through the export of terror. This is hypocrisy that Indian citizens and India as a nation will not tolerate. And despite strained diplomatic ties, Indians have continued to travel in large numbers to Turkey and Azerbaijan, enticed by affordability, scenic beauty, and social media allure. But this trend reveals a contradiction. While the Indian government resists Pakistan-backed terror, Indian citizens inadvertently strengthen the economies of nations sympathetic to that very cause. A growing number of Indians now recognize this paradox and are acting. The Pahalgam attack and the pro-Pakistan stance of Turkey and Azerbaijan have triggered a grassroots boycott campaign. This is not merely an economic boycott, it is a moral reckoning, an assertion of national dignity. Turkey's President Erdogan has increasingly embraced an Islamist neo-Ottoman worldview, frequently invoking religious identity in foreign policy and siding with Pakistan on the Kashmir issue. Azerbaijan, emboldened by its strategic alignment with Turkey, has mirrored this posturing even while struggling with its own territorial disputes with Armenia. Their post-Pahalgam stance exposes their prioritization of religious bloc politics over universal principles like justice, human rights, and counter-terrorism. Indian travelers are not without options. There are many alternative destinations, both domestic and international, that offer rich experiences and show genuine respect for India and its people. And these destinations combine cultural richness, safety, and a commitment to neutrality or friendship with India. In India, with 1.4 billion citizens and over 400 million middle-class consumers, is no longer a silent observer. Every rupee spent abroad either builds partnerships or reinforces adversarial agendas. Every travel decision is a statement of values. Turkey and Azerbaijan cannot support Pakistan's terror infrastructure and expect to profit from Indian tourism. Pakistan's terror export strategy has eroded its global credibility. It will now impact Pakistan's allies as well. My advice to my fellow citizens: travel is not just recreation, it is a reflection of identity, dignity, and principle. Let us support destinations that honor Indian lives, not undermine them. India's growing global influence must be matched by the ethical awareness of its people. Geopolitical hostility cannot dictate every private decision, but it must shape our collective conscience. To nations seeking Indian goodwill, respect India's sovereignty, stand against terror, and value Indian lives. Swipe left for next video, because in today's world, one truth remains clear: tourism and terrorism cannot coexist, and Indian dignity is not for sale. Sharika Deeb Ansari, National Working President, All India Pasmanda Muslim Mahaz. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect NEWS18's views. Latest blogs.